Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 18th to July 12th Mercury retrograde reading for you. And this is going to see how this retrograde will be impacting you. Now, before we dive into this reading, as you can see, I have things set up a bit differently. I'm just going to clear the energy and raise our vibration with this Tibetan singing bowl. And I just love, absolutely love that cleansing energy. Okay. So now we're going to start off with your chakra cards to see what chakra and how you will be affected emotionally. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. All right. So we have creativity, we have your sacral chakra coming through. So this is actually going to be a highly creative time for you, even though we do have, the Mercury retrograde represents having trouble with communications, things not flowing as well as you would like it to be. And this can also be that there are some blockages creatively that are addressed during this time, and that creative sexual energy that is where our creation, stems from, is going to be flowing through your body with much more intensity and, oh, that's interesting, a lot more grace than before, which is really beautiful. And now let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this message. All right. No, definitely. Okay. So definitely a connection between the sacral chakra and the hangman is coming forward. This is going to be the beginning part of Mercury retrograde, the middle, and the end. The Five of Cups. The Moon, which is a Pisces energy, a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. Three of Cups. Strength card, strong Leo presence here. A time frame of July 23rd to August 22nd. Two of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Three of Pentacles. And the King of Cups, which is a beautiful way to end this reading. Now, you have a very strong connection here with a Pisces energy. Again, the time frame February 19th to March 20th coming up at the end, but this also impacts your solar plexus chakra, your sacral chakra, and your root chakra, which is something very important to be noted here. Let me just move the camera back just a little bit so that you can see the cards better. I hope that's better for you guys. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we're starting off with the Hanged Man. And what I love about this is that this position right here, the way he's hanging upside down, in alchemy, this was seen as taking that creative energy from the sacral chakra, from the root chakra, and letting it flow and embrace the crown, blessing you with new ideas, new understandings. This is why standing on your head is also very good, in yoga and things like that, because you're taking that energy and you're letting it flow through your body. So with this time period and with this Mercury retrograde, you're going to see that you start looking at things differently. Your crown chakra starts to open up, starts to really be blessed. Your third eye chakra starts to open. Your throat chakra starts to open. All these are touched right here. And as this opens up with this light, you're going to see the people you can trust and the people that you can't. Okay, you're going to see the people who make something out of nothing and the people who are your tried and trues. So just know that with the Three of Cups coming in and the Hanged Man, you are going to be seeing things much more clearly, much more precisely. And it's actually, if you see this line right here, with the Hanged Man going right into strength, right into the King of Cups, it brings you strength, it brings you power that you didn't know, but you're not going to initially see it like this because of the Nine of Wands. You're going to see things as being overwhelming. You're going to see people as being two-faced, coming at you with a lot of ideas, a lot of different ways that you should do things. And so here, with the Three of Cups coming into play, it's like, really during this time, trust your intuition, trust your, there's going to be, it's almost like you're trusting your gut, but it's that voice inside of your head that says, watch out for this. You know how when we don't listen to that voice, you go, oh, I had a feeling, but I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think it was, important. And so I let it go. This isn't something you want to let go. This is something that either, don't get into a big deal, don't get into a big argument with people, of course, but know your path, know your truth, and stand your ground. Because that's what you're doing here. And it's in this midst of this war. It's kind of like this battle that you have been through. It's like, oh no, not again. And with everything that has gone on in the world, it's like, oh no, not again. No more chaos, no more upheaval. Let me embrace my peace. Let me find my peace. This could be, with the creativity that is flowing through you. There is also a sense here from this card and the energy that's coming through is that, can I handle this? Can I move forward the way that I want to? Can I trust this creativity? Can I trust myself? And so as you're seeing this and as you're looking at things really differently, you're going to think, there's something wrong with me. There isn't, Libra. There really isn't. There's a huge blessing that's leading you forward. But as this comes in, you start to look at, wow, I'm just different. I'm just different. I don't see things like everybody else. I'm not feeling things the same way as everybody else. I'm wrong. And I'm so wrong. And you're not. Change your mind, change your whole entire life. You have the Three of Cups right here. So you're looking at what's been spilt, but you've also been looking at those people in your life who spoke negativity over you, who sat there and thought they knew better than you did about your own existence, your own life, your own creativity, your own self, what you were capable of. And you have no time for them anymore. It's like, really, seriously? Seriously? This is how I'm going to live my life? By people who walk around, not even half awakened, not even close to being awakened, in misery and dejection and despair, but you have power over me? No. And the hard thing is we live in such a filtered world. People see exactly what you want them to see. I'm just thinking, it was my niece's birthday, and my nephew and my nephew is very, very young. He just turned a year, and he's a little bit over a year, and he and I were setting up the blocks. We have lettered blocks, and we spelt out his name, and we spelt out my niece's name, and we were like, oh, we're going to send this. It took me so long to get a picture for her. So long. And yet that picture was absolutely adorable. What you didn't see was the absolute meltdown that I was having with, please don't touch the blocks, just sit still, be good, all this stuff, bribery going on to get him to take that picture. So that's what the Five of Cups is. The Five of Cups is we don't see. We don't see the hurt, the despair, the chaos in other people's lives. We just see the beauty. We see the end results that they want you to see. So know this as you are moving forward, that things get intense. Things get real. And because we don't see it with everybody else, or we see little vignettes, oh, you can see this part of my chaos, you can see this part of my trauma, you can see this part of the drama, that we feel inadequate. And no, you have the Two of Cups behind you, you have your angels, you have your spirit guides, you have this love, this connection to the Minor Arcana Lovers card that is to build you up. And that leads you to your strength, to your power, to your understanding. It's like, this is beautiful. And there's going to be things that come your way that as you sit there and you're creating these healthy boundaries, it's like, no, I know my worth. I know what I need. You're moving towards your eternity, which is astoundingly beautiful. And as you're moving towards your eternity, you're sitting there and you're being really open, really truthful, really powerful with yourself. There's luck on your side. But you're going to see during this time of Mercury retrograde, where everything can get confuddled, everything can become chaotic, you're going to see that your compassion, okay, your beauty shines through. That you'll get more from being understanding, from being kind, not being walked over. Again, boundaries are going to be highly important, because there are people who are going to think, oh, Libra, you know, you always like to keep the peace, you always like to keep things balanced. I can just do whatever I want. That's not the case, and they're going to be very surprised, because this is not your normal Mercury retrograde, and thank goodness for that, because this is the retrograde that has you looking at things and has you, you know, putting your foot down and saying, this is what I desire from my life. And that's why the lion loves her. The lion loves her because she is kind to him, because he respects her and she respects him. And that's going to be the mutual respect of ferocity, of understanding, of human nature, of people, of life in general, that moves us forward. And then things start to come. Things start to come. The barriers, the upsets, the upheavals start to fall away. And the strength comes in and the power comes. And then you are co-creating. Now you have the repeat of the number 3. This is a divine time for you. And it's not going to always feel like a divine time, but it is definitely a divine time that is calling you forward with what you love, with your prosperity, what you value as much as money coming in. And so as you're looking at things, you're co-creating with people, yes, all right? But there are going to be times where you sit there, and I always see these guys as like asking the impossible. It's kind of like when, Steve Jobs would come in and just throw a computer in a fish tank. And if there were bubbles, he's like, yeah, you can make it smaller, you can make it less. You know, so here, it's kind of like that. It's like having that expectation of what feels impossible and being tested at times almost beyond your limits. And that's what you're going to feel as you're creating, as you're cultivating, as you're looking at things. But there's also a richness to you. There's a sense of, oh, I understand. Oh, I can see this more. Oh, I'm moving towards something greater, bigger. It's like, it's more beautiful than you had thought. And as you move towards this, you're going to want to kind of appease other people. It can very well be this King of Cups energy, or this person who is emotionally rather manipulative. It can also be a Leo energy, all right? Yeah. Here, it's somebody who's very strong-willed and who just thinks they can bulldozer things down. Be very mindful, okay, of these two people planting, I see them as separate people, but they're planting seeds of doubt in your head. And we can be given seeds of doubt. We just don't have to grow them. And I love that quote, because here, there is a sense of looking at who you can really trust, who really has your back, who you truly love, you know, right here. And that's going to set you apart from others. And that's going to also make you question those who sit there and think that they know better than you, that they have this great understanding. And if only you followed their truth, you would be happy. And then we have the Moon card. The Moon card is fears. Fears are going to come up during this time because everything is changing. The way you see things are changing, okay? You're looking at how you're not fitting in. You're looking at how you're feeling things differently than everybody else. And instead of sitting there and saying, well, there has to be something to it, you're going to say, oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. They're right. But we're facing our fears. And you have to know that we as human beings, we always have fear. I mean, some people don't, but that's actually an imbalance in the brain. We always have fears. We always have doubts. That's how we're programmed. You know, we're programmed to remember the negative. Don't eat those berries, they made that person die. Don't go over there, there's a bear. You know, that type of thing our ancestors needed in order to thrive. Here, we don't need to remember all the time, don't eat those berries. You know, oh, that time you got, you know, shamed, that time you were made to feel a fool. Everything like that. We don't need to remember it, and yet our mind does over and over again. And so this is what we know. The dog's barking is what we can hear. The lobster, that is our in-between. That is our fear that always stays. Half on land, half in the water, half in our spiritual self. You have heavenly grace here around you. And you are going to be seeing that heavenly grace, moving towards that heavenly grace. And not be afraid of it. It's kind of like, yeah, my path is different. Or, yeah, I understand things differently than other people. I'm not wrong. You will also find that this Pisces energy that is around you, yes, this person can be a pain in the butt, and you might think, oh my gosh, just stop. But this person is actually, and it can be another person comes in, most definitely. But this Pisces energy gets you in a way that others don't. And as you face your fears and you call on your strength, yes, you feel overwhelmed. Yes, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be doing this wrong. But you also feel freed because you're filtering in, okay, the words that come to you. You're filtering in the chaos that you're being a part of. Because the world, it's enough. And this can be also, the doors opening as, with quarantine in different places and feeling like, oh my gosh, what happens now? Or, oh, thank goodness. But then everything hits you. And it's like, wow, do I want to close those doors again? Because there is a sense of needing to continue that nurturing of self, that nurturing of soul, that embrace of your heart. And as you do so, that's what you're coming to balance with the Two of Pentacles. It's like, I'm coming into balance, I'm seeing things more, because you're focusing on this, and you're focusing on this infinity right here with your strength, which is also the number 8, right? Which is a lucky number, but it's also a very serious number. You're not paying attention to your emotions. You're not paying attention to the fact that you yourself are out of balance. So don't let this intensity, don't let this desire to keep, the balls in the air, to keep juggling what seems so terribly important, take you away from your strength, take you away from your beauty, take you away from your understanding, and lead you in a place that makes you think their words are better than mine. Their ideas are better than mine. Because the creativity that's flowing through you, it needs to be utilized. Because there's this loving, beautiful power that you are embracing that is like, this is me. This is where I stand. This is what I stand for. This is what I want. This is what I need. The gut instinct mixed with the heart, okay? So you're going to feel it in your heart and you're going to feel it in your gut. It's like, this is telling me the right thing. And you'll see that as you listen to that impact, that understanding, okay, you start speaking your truth. You also move closer to your life purpose, to the bigger picture of what you desire and what you need. So let's see. Yeah, it's not your average Mercury retrograde, which is lovely. Let's see what your spirit guide animal cards, your totem animal for this time has to say. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? Show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly, bless this reading. Show me clearly, show me clearly. All right. Have right here the horse spirit. Freedom is yours. This Mercury retrograde, as you're looking at things, as you're claiming your strength, as you're seeing your truth, is your freedom. It moves you forward. 33 is a very lucky number, a very spiritually powerful number. And it's moving you towards that spiritual power, towards that understanding. It's again, it's repeating the number 3 now 4 times. And as you move forward, divinity is saying, I want you in freedom. I want you in blessings. And that's what you're going to see that you move towards. And yes, you're afraid because you're starting to walk uncharted waters. You're starting to see things differently and more powerfully. And that's really setting you up for something spectacular. Then we have your Botanical oracle cards. How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? How will Libra be affected by Mercury retrograde, June 18th to July 12th? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Bless this reading, only positivity and grace. All right. So we have here tenacity, which is the burdock, and then we have connection, which is foxglove, and then we have dream, which is golden poppy. That's really pretty. Okay, so the golden poppy is really sticking out to me. There is a myth, or in something in Greek mythology about golden poppies that is saying this is really important because this is a time where you're looking at your dreams. And we can see that with your creativity. We can see that with the fact that you're looking at things differently. Creative people usually do. And so here, you are taking that energy and it's really calling to you. It's really moving you forward. And that's what you're working towards. Don't try to conform it for anybody else. This is kind of like, this is almost like, yes, people will see this, okay? People will be moving forward in the power of what you are creating, all right? But this is almost saying, let it, take that weight off your shoulders and look at this as like a free form creative expression. It's like, this is just for me. This is just for me to, you know, grow, develop, understand. And if it's only a conversation between my soul and myself, you know, that's perfectly fine. If it never sees the light of day, do not let it be hijacked by anybody else, because there's going to be something here where people are going to try and change it to what they want instead of what you need. And that's not going to be okay. That's actually leading you from your dreams to their dreams, which you don't want. Tenacity is highly important, okay? With the burdock right here, you are tenacious, you are determined, and you're going to actually feel that tenacity is that you're losing it just a bit at times, but you're not. You're not losing it at all. It's just reconfiguring. You're seeing life differently, and it's moving you forward in a very true and very powerful intensity that you hadn't realized. And as you do this, you have the foxglove, which is connection. And it's connection to your heart. Because foxglove also makes digitalis, that makes sense. So here, at least I believe it does, here you're having that connection, and it's having you look at your fear and saying, do I want to live here? Do I want to live in fear? Am I balancing my fear with my heart's desire? And as I'm balancing my fear with my heart's desire, am I pushing myself too hard? Am I forgetting to really be in touch with my emotional self, with my true essence of being? And those are questions that you're going to be asking yourself during this Mercury retrograde. You're going to be surprised with the answers that you get. You really are. Your subconscious chakra message is meditation. Meditation, the crown chakra, would be so beneficial for you that you would actually be surprised. If you just take 5 minutes a day to sit quietly, you know, even if it's just sitting quietly and sipping a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, that would be so beneficial to you. And because you're following your gut and your heart here, I would definitely say a cup of chicory dandelion tea, or just eating dandelions, you know, themselves, they're delicious, would be very, very impactful for you, because it soothes the stomach, it cleanses the blood, you know, and it empowers you. And that's right here where you're looking at your heart. You want that to be empowered. And so eating leafy greens and drinking chicory root and dandelion tea would be highly beneficial for you. It is also going to help your mind, your clarity of understanding. Yeah. Your subconscious spirit animal message is the rhino spirit. Overcome any obstacles. And that's what you're going to be doing during this retrograde. You are overcoming the obstacles and you're embracing your power. And as you do so, the subconscious message for this whole entire reading is the Five of Swords. Yes, you will be facing disagreements, upsets, chaoses that you would rather not face. I mean, you would really seriously rather just have left this in the past. But things are going to come up. And this is where you stand your ground. You know your truth. You have the repeat of the number 5 here now with the 5 of Cups and now the 5 of Swords. That's a freedom number. And you're working towards freedom being yours. Freedom being a part of you, coming into your life. These are also going to be issues that can be resolved much more quickly than you believe they can be, as long as you speak truthfully, honestly, and openly to yourself. And also, don't back down. I'm not telling you, you know, Spirit is not saying here, you know, get into a whole bunch of fights. But it is saying, don't underestimate yourself, and don't think that somebody knows so much more than you, because they don't. They just don't. They might have more of a bravado, but they don't know more than you, and they're not better than you. And that's something you're also going to see during this time and become very aware of. Your subconscious botanical message is the ghost pipe, which is mystery. There's so much that is going to be learned, that's going to be understood, that is coming to you. Life is full of mysteries. Let those mysteries guide you, and let those mysteries be a part of you. All right, Libra, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe.